I'm David Levitz. Good to have you with us. Venezuela's opposition leader, María Corina Machado, says she presented her Nobel Peace Prize to Donald Trump at a meeting in the White House. The meeting took place behind closed doors, and the White House has not released any footage. Machado said the talks with Trump were great. But the White House said the meeting has not changed the U.S. president's earlier assessment that she lacks the respect needed to lead Venezuela. Machado's widely considered to have won the disputed 2024 elections rejected by former President Nicolás Maduro, who the U.S. captured in a raid on January 3rd. Machado says her coalition should now lead Venezuela, but Trump has already endorsed interim President Delcy Rodríguez, who served as Maduro's deputy since 2018. Well, after the meeting, Machado told waiting reporters about her decision to present Trump her Nobel Peace Medal.
I presented the President of the United States the medal of the Nobel Peace Prize as a recognition for his unique commitment with our freedom.
DW's Oskar Schlenker has been reporting on Venezuela for many years. Oskar, María Corina Machado, they're saying she gave her Nobel Peace Prize away to Donald Trump. Make this make sense, please.
Well, ever since it was announced in October last year that María Corina Machado had won the Nobel Peace Prize, she has made clear her intention of sharing it with the Venezuelan opposition and with President Donald Trump. That announcement came as the U.S. increased pressure on Nicolás Maduro to step down. Now, after capturing Maduro and Cilia Flores, María Corina Machado expressed her intention of gifting Trump her Nobel Peace Prize. Now, after she said this, the Nobel Committee made clear the prize is non-transferable. So I suppose the physical medal was what she presented to Donald Trump. And she reminded Trump of a very symbolic gesture from 200 years ago when George Washington's family presented a medal to Venezuela's founding father, Simón Bolívar, in a sign of fraternity between both nations. So I guess it's a gift shrouded in symbolism to cement this alliance for freedom in Venezuela.
Is this clever diplomacy on her part? What is María Corina Machado realistically hoping to get out of this?
Well, she had something Donald Trump has made no secret that he wanted. So I would say it's a strategy. Now, she is confident she does have the respect and the means of leading Venezuela, but right now, she cannot do it without the help of the U.S. We are now seeing political prisoners in Venezuela being freed and slowly regaining freedoms in Venezuela. The opposition has been fighting for years now. And this is all because of the actions that have led to Nicolás Maduro being captured and Donald Trump's hard tactics against the regime. So if it's clever or not, it remains to be seen. But she seems very confident, and she assured Venezuelans after this meeting with Trump that Donald Trump will support freedom in Venezuela. She was very happy.
Does Machado have any realistic chance of becoming Venezuela's leader now?
Well, she has a good shot, and that has been demonstrated in the primary election she won and the presidential election she campaigned for and also won, but were stolen by Nicolás Maduro. She has since had to go into hiding, and from that commitment to democracy, she has gained a lot of respect nationally and internationally. But there is no doubt that the Venezuelan military has been molded to follow an authoritarian regime, not a democratic one. And she or anyone in front of Venezuela will need a lot of help to reform many of the institutions that are now loyal to the Chavismo movement that Nicolás Maduro led and that Delcy Rodríguez is now leading.
And the person who has Trump's support at this moment to lead Venezuela is acting President Delcy Rodríguez, who you mentioned, who was Maduro's vice president. Is she, at this point, just a puppet of the U.S.?
Well, from her actions, we can say she is complying to Trump's demands. Yesterday, for example, the regime freed many of the dozen imprisoned journalists, something we have never thought would happen under Maduro. Now, what she says is another story, reminding their followers that Maduro and Flores have been kidnapped. But let's be clear that she's not the only leader in the regime with power in Venezuela. Diosdado Cabello, her brother Jorge Rodríguez, Defense Minister Padrino López, they are all either complying to Trump's demands or conspiring for later. So in any case, there's a lot of tension in Venezuela, but with a sigh of relief because the political prisoners are being freed, and many people interpret that as winds of change for freedom in Venezuela.
Donald Trump, meanwhile, has been demanding unrestricted access to Venezuela's oil. A short while ago, Rodriguez announced there would be new reforms to Venezuela's oil sector. What do you make of that?
Well, the U.S. has always had an open door to Venezuela's oil market, sometimes strained, other times friendlier terms. But now we are seeing the door wide open for many other companies that perhaps saw too much risk in investing in Venezuela, like Exxon, for example, that has been open about the risks that it still faces in Venezuela, still under an authoritarian regime, even if it's compliant with Trump's demands. So we're just seeing the markets open up to a much wider range of U.S. oil companies coming in.
GW's Oskar Schlenker. Thank you, Oskar. Let's pull in Noris Soto. She's a journalist in Caracas. Noris, what do people in Venezuela think about Machado giving up her Nobel Prize to Donald Trump?
Hello, David. Thank you for having me. Well, this is basically very new, so the reactions has been limited. But what we've been able to see of people's reactions is a mixed opinion about this gesture that she had with Trump. I mean, so many Venezuelans see it as a good gesture of peace and a way to make good graces with the U.S. administration, and other people see it like a weak gesture, like she's not representing so much power in front of Donald Trump. So it's a very mixed reactions. But let's remember that she said earlier when she was awarded with this Nobel Prize that she had intentions to give it to him. So this shouldn't be a surprise. She actually did what she said that she was going to do in the first place.
Right. She's been saying for a while that she was going to do this. Has that changed Venezuelans' opinion of her, particularly her supporters?
Well, David, that's a great question, because actually yesterday I had the opportunity to go to the streets, like polling people and talking to people about her leadership specifically. And like I said before, the opinions of Venezuelans are very mixed towards her leadership. There's so many people that believe that she promised and didn't deliver. And this is quoting me, people from the streets. And there's some other people that still have faith in her and see her like a leader. But let's remember as well that the opposition in Venezuela traditionally has been very divided and fragmented over and over again. She was able to gather some of the opposition sectors to the 2024 elections, but I think that right now opposition is very undermined, very weak in Venezuela, and with her abroad, the prospects are very, very difficult for the opposition in Venezuela. So many people believe that if she would be here, she would be able to still have leadership. So this is a very complicated question to answer, because there's no one final answer about this.
Right. Machado's party is widely believed to have won the election in 2024, but Trump has said that she doesn't have the respect among Venezuelans to lead the country. It sounds like you agree with that?
Well, I said it before here in DW when everything just happened last week after the first strikes and Maduro's capture. Even though that María Corina Machado has a strong leadership in the opposition, the truth is that she doesn't control essential sectors in the country, like the military bases. And this is true. This was true then, and this is true now. The only person that could have control all the military bases, and the interior minister, and also the defense minister was Delcy Rodríguez. And that's what we think that Trump thought when he showed his support for Delcy Rodríguez as interim president. I think he was adding 2+2, and he saw that María Corina Machado and Edmundo González, which were the leaders of the opposition and the ones who won the election in 2024, were abroad. Their bases were undermined, and it could lead to a catastrophe if someone inside the same regime wasn't going to stay here trying to put together all these sectors that I've mentioned before.
Let's talk about Delcy Rodríguez, who is now Venezuela's acting president. She was Maduro's vice president until he was captured by the U.S. How do Venezuelans see her now that she's working together with the U.S.?
I think that she's been playing smart in the sense that she's been having one message for Venezuelans inside of a strong woman, strongly allied still to Nicolás Maduro and to the revolution, and she's having a complete other message for the U.S. and the U.S. administration. And in fact, she is complying with so many of the requirements of the U.S. administration of Trump's Trump's requires. So she is playing it well, in the terms that she's having one message for her bases, her political bases that are still here, and she's having another course of actions in terms of releasing political prisoners. At least 18 journalists were released yesterday. She's been talking about investment in the oil sector, in the health sector, improving the salary of the workers, which is one of the biggest worries of the Venezuelans are the salaries. Let's remember that an average Venezuelan makes $3 a month or less. So she's been talking about improving with the money and, of course, with the support of the U.S. So in terms of who do I think is doing better, I think that both María Corina Machado and Delcy Rodríguez are playing to be in good graces with the U.S. and depends on how well both of them play these cards. There will be a next leader among one of them in Venezuela.
Journalist Noris Soto in the Venezuelan capital, Caracas. Thanks for talking to DW.
Thanks to you.